And let's take a live look this afternoon at what little we can see.
Yeah, what is that?
This is from Lubbock, Texas, a storm system that dumped rain and snow in the west. It's moving across the country. And this is a dust storm down in Lubbock. The system's bringing winds of up to 90 miles an hour. Man, just imagine being down there right now. God,
and that's not in a thunderstorm. Those are just daytime winds. Just the winds picking up because of this strong system, what we call the gradient wind. I mean, impressive. There's a lot of tractor trailers that have been turned over on Interstate 40. It's an east-west interstate that runs through Oklahoma and Texas, and they have it shut down in multiple locations because there are so many semi-trucks that are blown over.
Wow.
It's all part of the same system that's going to be moving here. We're going to get the severe side of that. We're hoping, though, that it's weakened by the time it gets here. That's what we want to happen.
Okay.
In the meantime, it has been a warm day and a very nice day. The wind is starting to pick up. So let me get right into it and show you. I've got a lot to get to here. So let's start with temperatures because really it's the temperatures that are the story in the short term. 77, the record is 81 for today, and there are some 80s on the board. Terre Haute, Shelbyville, Bloomington, you are very warm, but you're also starting to see those winds pick up. 30 to almost 40 mile per hour winds now, but look to the west. This is where the strongest winds are currently. 44 mile per hour wind gusts in St. Louis, and you can see the strongest of the winds are still just off the edge of this map. I saw some values as high as 83 miles per hour, even in areas that don't have severe thunderstorm warnings, that don't have storms moving through. It's just daytime winds that are strong. Wind advisories in place for us. We're already starting to see some high wind warnings beginning to be issued. We had a high wind watch that's in place. It's possible that the Northern Indiana National Weather Service office will extend that or will change that over to a high wind warning. These wind advisories and high wind warnings, by the way, extend through a significant portion of the country. We're talking about really from border to border, from the Mexican border all the way up to Canada. We also have blizzard warnings in place. This is a huge storm. It's kicking up a lot of dust in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. There are fires that are really beginning to ramp up. Some of the wording out of some of the Weather Service offices is that they are having historic fire conditions into parts of Oklahoma. It's a lot of terminology that I don't often see here, just to give you an idea of how windy and how dry it is. This is the severe aspect of it. Now, a couple of things have changed here just within the last hour. They extended this area of the level 4 conditions much farther to the south. And Angela and I were having a conversation about that. Does it mean that perhaps it might get choked off for some of our severe threat here? It's possible. We'll be watching it, especially as we look to Saturday, which, by the way, there is a high risk. That's level 5 out of 5 for the deep south for tomorrow. That is only the third time that has ever happened in the history of the Storm Prediction Center issuing advisories or issuing outlooks. That's only happened 2 other times, back in 2012 and 2006, and those happened during the month of April, so this is exceptionally early. Here's the system that we're tracking. It's going to continue to develop during the next several hours. By the time we get into, say, 10 to midnight, we'll be watching this move across parts of Illinois, and then it should be weakening as it gets here, but I think there's at least going to be enough wind energy with this that the storms are going to be producing some pretty gusty winds, and yes, there is that possibility of a tornado. So I showed you this earlier. Here's the line that arrives tonight. There's a secondary chance of some afternoon pop-ups for tomorrow, especially during the afternoon and early evening. Outside of those storms, good chance that we're going to see 40 to 55 mile per hour gusts through the overnight tonight, into tomorrow, and even into tomorrow evening. But inside some of those stronger storms, we could see the gusts go as high as 60 miles per hour. Power outages are going to be a possibility overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Make sure you have your phone charged. Also, make sure you have a way to receive weather alerts on your phone because this is going to be happening during the overnight hours. The tornado threat is going to be within that first line. The tornado threat is really, if we're seeing any kinks in that line, any rotation in that line, we'll watch for it. I don't think the secondary threat is going to be there for the second line that moves through. And then flooding will be a concern in the southern part of the state, especially as we look to tomorrow afternoon. There's going to be a lot of heavy rain in the southern part of the state. And then get this, yes, Sunday, much colder. We're talking 40s, maybe with some wind chills down into the 30s. After that, we hope to warm back up by the middle of next week.